and then his brother that's that resting in peace. Him and my younger brother playing on the same team, right? And but Wack used to, when my moms and pops used to go pick them up from practice, he used to come to ride with us to practice and stuff like that, because we practice, way out the way.
All right. So my question to you is so what's your bio you want to throw out there before we start this whole conversation?
Yeah.
What you
Give
want
us your
everybody to
history,
know
man.
about yourself and what's going on with you?
Man, I'm a regular, hardworking man, trying to survive and make a living for my family and build this retirement.
Yo,
We
Cage, mute up, bro, because you got to echo.
Yo, whoever's not talking, please mute your mic.
Yo, mute up. All right, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm just a regular brother, trying to make it out here. I 52 years old. I came on here because I had seen a couple of YouTube videos, with the dude disrespecting people and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And some of my homies told me that I should stay away from it and stuff like that, but I was just, sometimes you get fed up on certain things, you know what I'm saying? And I keep hearing how you like disrespect people, parents, and disrespect the deceased people and stuff like that. I don't know if you know, but he did the same thing to me years ago, and then he did it again last week. When he came on, when me and him was kind of like had a few words on the house. It's just sometimes the true story got to get told about who you are and what you're about. You
Right.
know, and I don't mind telling that. Maybe I kind of like overstepped my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? When I brought my neighborhood into it and stuff like that, it should have just been like a one-on-one thing between me and him, and the disrespect that he did towards me, and with disrespecting my pops like that, and then disrespecting my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. The dude, he got some money. I thought, I thought he would be happy and just, live a normal life. But shit, I guess he's miserable, and he like
Right.
to take it out on people, and he like to play, or I should say, fake bully people. Nobody got time for that, man. And I'm tired of hearing it. You know what I'm saying? I think he talked to one of the young rappers like last year, and he told him, I'm a, something about he gonna knock him out when he see him, or he wanted his fade, and that young rapper said,
NBA young boy.
yeah, he said, man,
No, 21 Savage. 21
21
Savage.
seconds. That's it. He said, man, you done called 30 people out and you ain't had one fight yet. I thought that was funny.
So yo, Messi, y'all from the same hood?
Yeah, yeah, we are.
All
Yeah,
right, all right. So you known him for years, like from the area and shit.
yeah. I knew him as a little kid.
All
You know,
right. Oh
when
man, so
when
y'all
we
do
all
got
was
history.
when we all was young. You know what I'm saying? But then, I went on one of those paid vacations. Actually, I was on a paid vacation for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Just in and out. You know what I'm saying? And you know, them youngsters, they got older and shit like that. And then I started running across them and stuff like that. But he wasn't one of my, one of the ones that, was in the turf like that. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he wasn't in the turf, because he, some of his little people that he hung around with, you know what I'm saying, they were solid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yo, Messi, let me ask you a question. Have you served time with him? And if not, do you personally know people that have walked the yard with this individual?
I never served no time with him. You know what I'm saying? I had a one of my one of my homies. He served some time with him. He told me a story. And I'm not saying the story is 100% true, but you know what I'm saying, it's a couple of other homies that, you know what I'm saying, was kind of like nodding their head to it, like, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? So in some instances, you just have to roll with the majority. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, what we got to lie on him for? You know what I'm saying? But no,
Right.
time with him, and I don't know, if it's true or not. But like I said, if it's 5 people in the room and 4 people raise their hand, it's like I'm gonna roll with that 4, you know.
So yo, Messi, I heard you speaking like a week ago. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, or something like that. And you said something about he folded in the yard or something like that.
Yeah, basically it was he, from what I hear, like I said, I wasn't there. He was supposed to handle his business, you know what I'm saying, and then instead of handling his business, he went out to the yard and got into it with a CO, a correctional officer, and got rolled up off the yard instead of handling his business, and that was his
Mm.
escape route, and people do stuff like that all the time in the joint, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's their business. But that's what I hear, and like I said, I had a couple of head nods from the story, along with the storyteller. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a close homie of mine. You know what I'm saying?
All right, all right. And so you said he disrespected you years back, man. What led to that? Like why you and him had an issue? Like what happened?
It was kind of crazy because me and Cash, we was cool. We was cool. You know what I'm saying? Actually, we was real cool because he used to come out here to Vegas and bring me the straight stun magazines and stuff like that. I meet him at one of his little drop off trucks when he was dropping off cars and stuff like that. I meet him, late at night. He'll pass me some books and shit. We chop it up and stuff like that. And, I used to try to give him some advice. You know what I'm saying? Because he considered me one of his big homies at the time. You know what I'm saying? And he used to tell me, niggas this and niggas that, and they mad at me because I ain't fucking with them and blah blah blah. And I'm like, man, hey, just drive your truck. I used to always tell him a lot, just drive your truck, do your own thing, and don't worry about what nobody got to say. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you're supposed to be. If if motherfuckers ain't liking you, you can't make a motherfucker like you. You know what I'm saying? Mind your own business and just do it moving. You know.
Yeah,
So it was a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? Actually, one time he came out here and Ray J was out here and he did a little something at the Hard Rock Cafe, you know what I'm saying? And I used to hang out on the strip every weekend, you know what I'm saying? Me and my partner, I get off work, you know what I'm saying? And said that's what I wanted to do, hang out on the strip, you know what I'm saying? Look at the females and shit like that, try to holler every once in a while. But he called and he was like, "Hey, we're gonna be at the Hard Rock. You wanna come through?" And so at the time I was with one of my partners, 2 of my partners, you know what I'm saying? So I asked them and they was like, yeah, let's go, let's go fuck with it. So, we went and hung out with him at the Hard Rock, you know what I'm saying? And we kicked it, shit. They had some bottles up in there and shit like that. So, we drank a little bit. I don't do too much drinking, you know what I'm saying? Because I like to be focused and aware of everything that's going on. And so, that was one of the times we hung out here. And then it was another time, I was doing some work down there in LA. So they had a little function, and that was the time when he went and picked up what K Slade had flew in, and he took K Slade through all the little the little blood sets in LA and Watts and stuff like that. Not all of
yeah.
them, but it's real big. But he took him through a lot, just showed him around and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But he never did take them to our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we are in the valley. You know what I'm saying? We were one of the youngest, Damu sets coming up, in the early '80s. You know, but he didn't take them to our neighborhood. He didn't show off our neighborhood. He didn't show the, what people call the noms. I don't know if you ever hear him say anything about the noms, but that's our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Which right now it's basically deserted. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't do none of that, and that's something that we would expect him to do. You know what I'm saying? Being from our set, if you're gonna bring somebody out of town and you're gonna show them some Damu neighborhoods or something like that, I mean, I'm gonna start off with my neighborhood first. You know what I'm saying? That's just off. I don't care if it's only one person standing. This is where it started at for us. This is my neighborhood. This is where it started at. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna move on to the different neighborhoods. And this is Compton. This is Watts. You know what I'm saying? And get them their respect too. Because that's where it originated from. as far as I know, you know what I'm saying, out in the LA area, you know what I'm saying? So, it was a couple of homies buzzing on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, the nigga didn't, do this and do that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's his show, you know what I'm saying? So he can, he the driver, at the time he, driving Casely around, so he can show him what he want to show him. I didn't trip off of it. So I hung out with them that night. I forgot what type of little function it was. It was so long ago, but I hung out with them that night, and then I went to work the next morning. And then what happened was he had disrespected one of my homies and shit. One of my solid homies. We grew up together. We the
Push
same age.
that fucking knife, nigga.
We grew up together. We the same age, and he disrespected him pretty tough, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know about it at the time. So when I got word about it, you know what I'm saying, he was he was Cash was hitting me up like, like, hey, you know what I'm saying, can you, holler at the homie, and from my neighborhood, my homies know that I want to make sure that we all tight, that we all got a solid bond, you know what I'm saying? We from the same neighborhood. What the hell we look like beefing? We got enemies to beef with. How
Right.
we beef with each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm quick to jump on the phone and call one of the homies. Hey, look, hey, can we do this? What can we do? Can we squash this? Can we squash that? You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I am. You know what I'm saying? And shit. I'm like I said, I'm a second generation from my hood, but my homies got a lot of love and respect for me, you know what I'm saying? And they know I'm with the business, and I used to be with the business, and I'm serious about keeping the hood strong, you know what I'm saying?
Push that knife.
Yeah, so I was doing that, you know what I'm saying? And me and Wack, I go down there when I go to the hood and shit, we'll go sit down and have some breakfast and talk about a few things and stuff like that. He was talking about some business and stuff like that, trying to do this and do that for the hood and all of this and all of that. But, he he never it was a lot of talk, you know what I'm saying, which was fine. It still didn't change my mind on the way I felt about him, because he was a little homie, you know what I'm saying, and he was doing some good shit. He had his shit together when it came to that truck driving shit like that. He really had his shit together. He
Right.
got it together, you know what I'm saying, and he was helping homies get in the trucks and shit like that, and so I like fucking with my little homies that's, got some good shit going on. You probably, if you ever looked at his Instagram, you probably see some comments of me, you know what I'm saying, giving him some praise for doing such a good job, and you know what I'm saying, and me showing him some love and respect for that, you know what I'm saying? But um what happened, the fallout came from in like 2000, and I want to say 2014, 2015, when one of my homies found himself in a bad situation, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't have nowhere to go, you know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure he could have I'm quite sure I shouldn't have said it like that. I'm quite sure one of the homies out there would have looked out for him, but I was working down there, and I just finished up a job, and I seen him at the park, you know what I'm saying? And I told him, you know what I'm saying, hey, if you need a spot, shit, I got 2 bedrooms empty, you know what I'm saying, at my place, you know what I'm saying? So he hit me, a couple of weeks after I got back. He was like, big mess. He was like, dog, whoop whoop happened, you know what I'm saying? I need a place. Shit, come on out, you know what I'm saying? So, I had my niece bring him out here and shit, you know what I'm saying? And he posted up at, in one of the rooms. So at the time, Wack and one of my homies, they still got their little beef going on. I wasn't able to squash it. Every time I called my homie was like, Mess, I got love for you. I respect what you're saying and everything, but this nigga got to be dealt with. He need to take this fade because he's too disrespectful and he run his mouth too much, you know. And I'm still pushing it like, man, is there anything that we can do? Anything that, and he's like, nah. He's like, he just got to take that fade. You know what I'm saying? So the homie that I let come live with me, he him and this one particular homie, they was tight. They had got real tight. So when Cass got word that I let the homie come live with me, he started sending me text messages talking about, oh, so you picking sides and shit. Oh, you choose your side. Wait, stay over there and all of this and all that. I'm like, dog, what are you talking about? Picking sides? I say, nigga, we all from the same neighborhood. You think I'm gonna let my homie, you know what I'm saying, be in a situation where he don't got nowhere to lay his head at? Hell no, I'm not. And this is this is a solid homie. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no, just no nigga that, you know what I'm saying, that, yeah, this is such and such. Just claiming the hood. No, this is a solid homie. He been there and done that. So he
Right.
tried he tried to put the story on me like I was choosing sides, you know what I'm saying? So we start going, back and forth, you know what I'm saying? And then it was a situation where, we were supposed to meet up at the park and all of this and all of that. So, I'm always ready. I just put it like that, I'm always ready for anything, you know what I'm saying? If it's my time, it's just my time, But so there was a situation where, we was supposed to take care of something, never had, never happened because he ran up out the park. You know what I'm saying? So he said he didn't see me, but shit, I know he seen me. You know what I'm saying? Because he ran out the park and he went straight to Facebook. And the first thing he put on Facebook was, yeah, I was just down in you niggas' habitat. You know what I'm saying? And y'all didn't do nothing. I went right back on Facebook and said, well, where you at right now? Because we putting some meat on the grill. We about to have a barbecue. You know what I'm saying? And so we kind of like going back and forth on the shit, you know what I'm saying? And he said, well, why you didn't chase me down? I said, what I look like chasing you down? I said, you was coming up there to get at me. You know what I'm saying? So he, and then we just went back and forth. And then there was several other times where, me and him, we be arguing on text message and just cussing each other out, you know what I'm saying? Arguing back and forth. And he like, well, meet me in the hood. So I live in Las Vegas, you know what I'm saying? I'm spending $200 in gas money a day, you know what I'm saying? I'm driving down there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going up to
Right.
the park, and he had his little flunkies up there, you know what I'm saying, who was reporting to him, calling him, you know what I'm saying, and saying, yeah, he's up here or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because when it's what's funny is when I get there and I'm there and I'm hitting him up like, hey, I'm up at the park, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm ready, you know what I'm saying? I'm up at the park. Where you at? You know what I'm saying? He don't respond. But then I hit the freeway going back, you know what I'm saying? And everybody at the park, all right, big mess, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm on the freeway going back, and then, hour and a half, 2 hours, you know what I'm saying? Go by where I'm driving on the freeway, I get a message, you know what I'm saying? Where you at? Where you at? Yeah, yeah, I'll be back in town tomorrow and all of this and all. And I'm like, or he'll call just yelling and screaming. I'm like, just hang up the phone, you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't even worth it, you know what I'm saying? Um, and then let me see. After all that happened, one time I went down to Lancaster and I was sitting down there. Well, I was in Palmdale and I was sitting down there about to have some lunch with one of my other little homies. And I had texted him. I said, "Hey, I'm out here." I said, "I'm out here in Palmdale because he lives up in the Antelope Valley." So I said, "Hey, I'm out here in Palmdale." So he like, well, I'm at the movie theater. I said, okay. I said, what movie theater you at? I come holler at you right now. You know what I'm saying? So he gave me the runaround. He's and me, I'm in my feelings and I'm stupid as a motherfucker. I'm there's two like theaters like in close proximity each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm driving around in the parking lot and me and my little homie and I'm looking and I'm like, well, what kind of car you driving? I know a couple of his different cars, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for the cars and shit like that. And then, after an hour of kind of like going back and forth with the text messages, he put some clown up talking about you gotta be one stupid motherfucker to be looking for me, do your homework, and all of this. I'm in a lobby, I might be in a parking lot, just a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But this is somebody that's on the internet talking about how he'll pull up on anybody and he'll take this fade and he'll do this and that to the next person, you know. So I left it alone after that, after that little incident right there. I left it alone until I was I think I was driving to Sacramento to visit my family, and I got up there and I was hanging with my family, you know what I'm saying? And my niece called me and she called me. She's on fire. She like, this motherfucker done put some shit up talking about you got HIV, you got AIDS, and all of this and all of that, and pray for my homie and blah 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 blah. And they like, you should sue his ass. You should sue his ass. And I said, no, I'm not going to sue him. I'd rather see him face to face. You know what I'm saying? And, and deal with that situation. I don't, at the time I was still working. I've been working, since I moved to Las Vegas. I've been working. I'm not balling nothing like that. But I'm all right, But they like, you should sue him and blah blah blah. And I'm like, nah, I'm not suing. I'm not suing. I just want to see him and holler at him. So I kind of like when that happened, he was doing photoshopping pictures of my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, my daughter was like maybe 14 or 15 years old, giving her these big lips and shit like that, saying, stupid shit, talking about
Oh man.
this is what your daughter looked like after she sucked some dick and all of this and all of that. And of course, he was disrespecting my pops. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Right now, I still have this issue with him because of the shit he was saying about my pops. Dig that nigga up, you know what I'm saying? Dig his grave up. They said he had
What?
his ass and all of this shit, you know what I'm saying? So I actually, and it's crazy because I had one of my big homies called me yesterday, actually, and he was like, man, he said, I heard what that motherfucker said on that on YouTube about Pops. He said, Big Mess. He said, don't let that dude get you out of character, Big Mess. He said, everybody from the hood know what Pops was about, know how Pops was. He said that shit put tears in my eyes. He said, I got tears in my eyes right now, man, to tell you the truth, just because of what that motherfucker was saying about Pops and how he did that shit on the internet, disrespecting Pops like that. He said, man, that man right there, he said, your Pops, man, was a Pops that like all of the homies in the hood wish they had. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of man he was. He made sure all of us was taken care of because
Right.
my mom and pops was the hood mom and pops in the noms. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, you know what I'm saying? My spot was headquarters when we was younger. You know what I'm saying? That was headquarters right there. My spot. You just walk in the house, walk out the house. You can go get you something to eat. If you was above age, you can go get you a beer. You could smoke a joint, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was. You know what I'm saying? When it came to going to Big Mess spot, you know what I'm saying? That's how it was. So, I got off subject a little bit because I was just thinking about what my homie
Hey,
called
Right.
yesterday.
hey, OG, OG, this the real saint. Um, First of all, I just want to say I respect everything about you and what you stand for when it come to this. You know what I'm saying? And I just had one quick question for you. I wanted to understand. So, if all of this had been going on with him, why is it that now all like we now getting all the information about him being, who he really is?
Because I had stepped away from social media for like about 2 years. I had stepped away from IG and stuff like that. But people, you know how people is. They be like, "Hey man, did you see this and did you see that?" And so I listened to it, and I'm just like, man, I'm like scratching my head because it's like this dude. Number one, he was making my neighborhood look bad, and number two, he was making the whole blood card look bad because people like, this is who's running the Bloods, because this is what he was putting out there. Like he was running the whole blood corps
That's
for the
and
for
that's what I meant by
for this
my
code.
question, OG. I'm sorry, and that's what I meant by my question because I'm from the East Coast. I'm from North Carolina, so on the East, from the way that that man was talking and the way that he would portray himself, it seemed like he was that dude and he was running shit. He was the top dog. You get what I'm saying? And so now, when everybody is pulling his card, it's starting to look crazy because you know what I'm saying. This is all new information to us on the other side.
Yeah, yeah, and that was a problem to me because I got a lot of respect, and I pay homage to the big homies. You know what I'm saying, that paved the way for me. You know what I'm saying, and I'm talking about the big homies from different sets. Because like I said, we was like in the early '80s, we was like one of the youngest Damu sets. You know what I'm saying? We had motherfuckers already banging, 10, 15 years before us. You know what I'm saying? So we come on the scene. So how could and it's very possible, you know what I'm saying? It all depends on how you get on to what your get on was, but me knowing my neighborhood and everything, I know, you know what I'm saying, how the homies run they, how it goes in the homies hood, that no one person is running the motherfucking thing for not one neighborhood. There's not one person that's just calling dogs on the whole neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You might have a couple of homies that you can reach out to get some advice from and stuff like that. And they're going to say, man, we can't do it like that. We can't get out like this. You know, you can do that, or you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But no one person is running no neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I might can call one of the homies from Compton or something and get some advice from him on how I should handle it. But he ain't gonna come to my hood and say, hey, this is how y'all need to do it, and that's the bottom line, you know what I'm saying? And it's set in stone. You know what I'm saying? No.
Hey, Messi, I had a question. Was good though. It was a
I
picture of Wack floating around wearing a police suit in a police academy. I just want to ask you, was growing up with Wack, did he ever join the police academy or some shit like that?
No, he never. I think that's one of those Photoshop pictures where somebody put him in the police uniform, just cropped his head and cropped somebody else's head or whatever. However they do that shit. I'm not too computer savvy, you know what I'm saying? But they got ways of making shit look just like super real. But no, he never was on that side of the fence like that.
Okay.
Hey, Mess, I have a question. Is there a divide in your neighborhood right now because of Wack, or is everybody on the same accord with you and they feel like he wrong?
It's I got he. He kind of tried to he tried to push the divide and conquer, but the little the young homies that mess with him, they got a relationship with him. You know what I'm saying? They might have grew up together or built a relationship over the years. You know what I'm saying? But they still fuck with some of the homies that's, you know what I'm saying, that don't fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? And it's so it's he tried it, but it didn't work. We do have homies that right now to this day that don't talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? Because of him, that's beefing with each other because of him. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple of fades taking this shit like that because of him. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't never took a fade with nobody. You know what
So
I'm saying?
why is it that you think he ducking fades?
I don't I don't know what. Well, one time I know for sure. One time he said something about what I look like when my homie that I was telling you about that wanted to take the fade because he disrespected his daughter. He said, what I look like taking the fade with him and then going home and my kids seeing me with a black eye or something like that. It's just a fight. When we was growing up in the Noms, he didn't grow up in the Noms, you know what I'm saying? But he claimed the Noms. He didn't grow up in the Noms though. But when we was growing up in the Noms, if anybody on here from the Noms, if they're on here, they'll tell you, shit, we probably had a fight every weekend. I had a fight with every homie that lived in the Noms. You know what I'm saying? That was my age group or a year or two older than me or younger than me or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I took many L's up in there. You know what I'm saying? But I got a couple of W's too. You know what I'm saying? But we was tight though. We fought over dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Over because we was wrestling and you wouldn't let me up or something like that. So we start chunking them. You know what I'm saying? Or the basketball game because we had basketball courts in the back of our apartments, or over the football game, or over the baseball game. Or, we fought over everything. You know what I'm saying? But we got out, and like I said, wasn't nobody undefeated in the hood. I don't give a damn what they say. Wasn't nobody undefeated in the hood when it came to chunking them. Everybody took a L, and everybody, and you got some wins in there too. So I don't know why he don't want to take the fade, but I do know that he told me that personally, what I look like, fighting and going home to my kids and I got a black eye and all of this.
OG, was he
Hey yo,
saying that
Michael.
from an older standpoint? Was he like that when he was younger? Was he taking the face when he was younger?
I never heard him. I never heard because, like I said, I was on those paid vacations and stuff like that, and he he's what, I'm 52 and I think he's like 46. You know what I'm saying? So it was an age difference. You know what I'm saying? When growing up and going to
44.
school. Oh, he's 44. Okay, well,
Hey, so Messi,
Yo,
did you know
yo,
Wack?
Messi, I got a question. Ice Coleon, like,
I,
the 6ix9ine dude, like, how y'all West Coast, y'all jacking that Whack 100 is, he's backing them, like, y'all behind that, like, y'all cool with that out there?
well, my homies, you know what I'm saying, the ones that I'm still in communication with, close contact with and stuff like that. We talk on the phone or we texting or we, you know, we see each other when they come out here or I fuck with them when I go down there. We not with that stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? But some people get a little greedy when it comes to money. And the dude 6'9", the dude, you know, even though he's a, you know, whatever they say he is a snitch or whatever, I think Wack seen the payday from him. I think he seen that, you know, that he can get a payday off of him. And look what happened. He got a payday off of him. But we not with that. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, it's just, you know,
Now that's a fact. I'm gonna tell you like this. I seen everybody from when, you know what it is. I'm gonna tell you like this. I come from that. You know what I mean? Like I come from the whole 6ix9ine era and all that. But I seen everybody want in when shit was starting to get hot, and then I seen everybody jump ship from time to time when it came to money, and it broke a lot of people's hearts, and it sent a lot of people to jail. That's why, you know what I mean, like Shotty sitting in the position he's sitting in, and you know what I mean. God, you know, hopefully Harv get to get out of his situation, and everybody get to get out of these situation from Melly to, you know what I mean, to the rest on down. You know what I mean? Like that was real sad, and it was a sad moment because everybody just looked forward to getting the money, but not knowing that they fucked all of us over. Like everybody was working hard, everybody got families, and everybody put that together so we could try to prosper from the hood. And it
right.
was like the mainstream took over and just like fought us back with like all the unpositive things that we were doing.
Facts, facts. Real shit.
Hey,
Facts.
hey, OG, this Primo. I got a quick question. Would y'all? How do you feel about Shotty and them bringing him in, like as OGs? You know, as people that rep the game to a high standpoint. How do you feel about them even bringing somebody like 6ix9ine into the whip?
It's
Well,
not
Like,
even.
what consequences do they got to hold?
they don't have consequences because this is one thing that I was talking to some of the brothers from UOD about, you know what I'm saying, the other day. You know, when people come and join the gang, dog, it's not like, he might just move to the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, and he hanging out, and everybody, like, because when you move into a neighborhood, everybody checking you out, checking out your program, seeing how you conduct yourself and stuff like that. So it's not like, that's kind of like the interview right there. But you don't, you're not getting no resume from the dude. You're not, he's not producing no resume like, I ain't never told on nobody. You know what I'm saying? I done got down with 15 motherfuckers and all of this and all of that. So you really don't know what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's a chance that you take. It really is
Yeah,
a
facts,
chance when
facts.
you accept somebody or you put somebody on your set, you know what I'm saying? Because you thinking, you know what I'm saying? You, like I said, you watching him and you're like, okay, man, this dude seems like he pretty solid, man. I want to fuck with this dude, you know what I'm saying?
And you
And you
know what's crazy? He was
Hey,
like a
hey,
mass
Messy Marv,
manipulator.
this Fake John little brother, you feel me? Hey, let me holler. I want to ask you a question, bro.
What's up?
I'm not talking. I'm talking Messy Marv, bro.
Okay.
go ahead, soldier.
Hey, man. I fuck with the Hell Gang camp and shit like that. Are you still on any like drugs or anything?
I never
Is you
would. No,
talking with a box?
this ain't this ain't the this ain't the Messy Marv the rapper.
He
I'm the
think you from up north. No,
Hey,
that
yeah.
ain't
Messy, don't mind him. You're a little slow.
Okay, it's all good, but listen.
Word.
the Messy Moore from San Francisco. That ain't
You
the
smoke a
Messy
lot of
Moore.
Hey,
sure, my nigga.
this juice, man. I just want. I'm glad y'all bringing up the point, man.
Blood
That
tripping.
they making that him
Hey,
working with.
why do you have that nigga name, bro? Why you like? I don't
Man,
know.
be
Finesse, you
quiet.
fucked
You
up the
talking all
conversation, bro.
damn day, my nigga.
Man.
Yo, boy, shut the fuck up.
Don't worry, he out of here. I sent that
Hey,
nigga back.
Marv, appreciate you, man. Letting them know,
What's
man.
going
Hey,
on?
everything ain't worth. Every dollar ain't worth it, my nigga. Sometimes you gotta have some honorableness about yourself, man.
Yeah,
They
that's
they,
the point.
te- they teaching these young niggas the wrong thing, man. Like a dollar over everything. It don't matter principles and morals. That shit ain't cool.
man, and that's what it's all about, and that's why I like to come on this clubhouse thing since I've been on here. I've been on here. Tomorrow it'll be a week, and man, I like to come in and I like to listen. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be talking some good shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's good for it's a lot of youngsters that's being misguided by this commercialized. This commercialized the gang banging, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Cause some of it, it ain't like it used to be.
Hey
I'm
yo,
shit.
can I ask you a question, big bro?
Go ahead.
Like you said, the gang banging shit is watered down. Like, they got OGs out here that's misleading and, got these little niggas doing wild, silly shit. So can you give your definition on like a real OG, like what a real OG is?
Well, to me, OG is somebody that's he been down for his shit no matter what the situation was. He handled his business. He represented to the fullest, and he guided. Now this might sound weird as fuck, but he guided his little homies in the right direction when it came to representation of the hood. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds weird. Like, well, damn, you
No,
you
that's facts.
you
We
promote
understand.
Nah, it
like
We
don't sound
understand.
weird, OG, because
Yeah,
the
we
first two
understand
rules
that.
is representation and demonstration. So it don't
yeah,
sound
Yeah.
yeah.
crazy.
Oh, but like I said, I'm 52 years old now, so I'd be like, damn, I wish I could have did this a little different. You know what I'm saying? Because I got nieces and nephews and shit, and none of my nieces and nephews are from my neighborhood. None of them. Not one of them is from my neighborhood, and that's crazy. But I was, what I'm saying, any little homie that came up in the hood, you know what I'm saying, and they were seeking some guidance, you know what I'm saying. I always had some good information for them, you know what I'm saying. But I never pushed it on my niece and nephews, you know what I'm saying. And I'm happy I didn't, you know. But
40 Glock. What's up, 40 Glock?
Hey, OG. Is it any notable Crips from your era who used to put in that work back in the day? Who you know what I'm saying? Like any OG Crips?
oh yeah, it was yeah, shit. Yeah, it's some
And
from
then that's not 40 Glock, that's West Side.
yeah, it's some notable ones. You know what I'm saying? One of them
Lil West Side, what's good with you, bro?
happened to be deceased. You know what I'm saying? His name was Mad Dog. You know what I'm saying? He was from Front Street. You know what I'm saying? He was from Front Street West, but he was living out in the valley, and that was one of our main. We shit. He was one of the ones though. He was about his shit. You know. So
Hey,
if you
Messy, is you and Wax beef squashable? Like, can y'all just squabble it out and shake hands, or like it comes to a point
Well,
where
we
you
can
got?
we can well we gon' if I ever see him, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, and it's just being the honest to God truth. If I ever see him, we gonna get down. You know what I'm saying? If I don't see him, then it's nothing to worry about. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
And
right.
I live out here, he live out there. You know what I'm saying? So we might never cross paths, which is perfectly fine with me. But if we do cross paths, we got to get out because you're not gonna disrespect my father the way you disrespected my father. You know what I'm saying? That little, the shit he did with my daughter, you know what I'm saying? That's that, I feel a certain type of way about that too. But my pops that was my G right there. That was my best friend. That was the triple OG
O-
right there.
OG, quick
Yes, sir.
question. This Saint again, and just listen to what you just said, right? You say you would get down with him, but I want to ask you, like, you don't think, and this is just keeping it, all the way gangster with it. You don't think that man to play police games with you? Because at the end of the day, that man already know what type of energy you gonna come with. You know what I'm saying? It's stamped. He already know what is hitting for. And
But
with the route that he's going and the person that he's portraying, you don't think he would do some funny shit or be on some police shit with you?
if I'm gonna tell you like this. I always tell my homies, I got one fight left in me. You know what I'm saying, and that's with him because I don't want to never have another fight. But with him, we gonna get out. Now, if he called the police, then somebody got to bail me out. You know what I'm saying, or somebody got to help me get bailed out of fucking hold some car washes or something. Just get me out. You know what I'm saying.
I respect it.
I take that on going to jail. You know what I'm saying, just to get on with him. You know what I'm saying,
I
but.
respect it.
But you
Yeah.
don't think that might cause more tension in the hood? Like, through
because you
through
so
the younger,
respected.
yeah, like you know, what if he whoop you though, OG? Then you ain't gonna have no homies that's gonna wanna,
Well, not
get
even.
him.
I ain't
No,
even really too
no,
worried about him getting whooped, but like, little homie's gonna take that real personal.
Man, it
no.
don't matter if you win or lose. As long
Facts.
as you beat that
Exactly.
nigga ass, if you
Exactly. As long as he
Everybody done took an
stands
L before.
I'd have,
facts.
Hey,
I'd have been jumped on. I'd have been stumped out. I'd have been spitted on, man. I done, yeah, shit. I done had some damage done to me.
Ain't
You
no
know.
L's, man. That
hey,
man is
OG, I
over
got a
50
question
years
too.
old and telling you what he gonna do to another man when he see him, bro. That's you. That's honorable, bro. You gotta
OG,
respect that. He ain't
I
talking
got a,
about no guns. He ain't talking about calling nobody else. He talking about what he gonna do to that man when he see him, and I respect it.
That's some real nigga
I got,
shit.
I
And
got
the
another
goal is to
question.
live to fight another day.
That
OG,
like
I
you
No,
got,
said,
the real
I got,
nigga
right?
shit is
hey,
it
Mr.
ain't
Ron,
it ain't
push
about
that
winning, but
knife.
it's about that disrespect.
Dude,
He
who that?
disrespected his best friend, you hear me?
Nah, that
OG,
was his
I got a
pops.
question for you
That
too.
ain't.
Facts,
I wanted to
facts,
ask you real
facts.
quick. I know that's your roots. That's where you from y'all hood that Wack from. You still, I'm assuming you still this 118 Cav. I'm assuming you still got family out there. How's your family take the disrespect right now? How they handling that in the neighborhood?
They hot. My sister heard about it. The little argument that we had on it, and she called me. And she banged on me. That's my big sister. She 9 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? She banged on me. What I tell you? Why you letting that nigga get up under your skin and blah, 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 blah. And I said, I just wanted to tell my side of the story. I want to speak my piece, you know what I'm saying? And let them know what this dude is really about because he got the industry food and, he got people in different states thinking that he's something that he's not. So I just want to put it out there so everybody can know that he's not the person that he say he is. He's not living life like that.
Hey man, that's exactly what I was trying to tell my people, but they didn't believe me, man.
Yeah, that nigga don't represent the whole West Coast at all.
And like I was saying earlier,
Even that clout, he didn't even deserve all that he was getting because he was giving up too much information if he was any type of replicable person, dude.
yeah. And then it's like you doing these so-called interviews with people, and you grilling them like you an investigator or something, and like you got all the facts laid out and all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, won't you chill? Mind your business, take care of your business, and leave everybody business alone. And
But
that's
y'all
Yeah,
got he doing that
yeah,
because he got that podcast too. So he want everybody to, you know what I'm saying, to log into that podcast. That's why he doing that shit.
I
Because he know
I
controversy sells.
yeah.
I
But he like to kick people when they down, and when things don't go his way, he always got a trump card, and that's what he was always banking on. When that's a fake trump card, man.
real talk, real talk. But if it's like it's too easy to mind your business. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen him in many different beefs across the United States, man, with getting in arguments with people. But he'll be the first one to say, "I don't be in nobody business. When I leave the West Coast, everybody else politics is their politics." And then 2 days later, you'll see him in an argument with somebody, and it's like, well, damn, I thought this dude said that he don't be in nobody business. He's always in
E-
somebody.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to tell him. Like he say he a civilian, but then he come out of being a civilian when a real gangster say something to him when he should be able to hold his composure.
Yeah.
Man, Wack done got a taste of that money, man. He don't care about no integrity no more, man. For
Look,
real.
exactly. I've been in the prison, man, with these real damus, pamus. They don't talk like that. They don't. Man, I was in prison. You won't even know they really damus like that because they move different. They was always cooler than the Crip niggas. And I'm a Crip nigga.
Because
The
because the
Pirus was
first
always cool than a motherfucker.
Cause
Because
On
your
Pyro.
first rule is to always move militant, my nigga. That's the first rule, and not only move militant, but you always remember your P's. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's certain codes and certain regulations that we're bred and we're taught from the beginning that niggas supposed to move like. But then you got goofy motherfuckers like this bald bitch that come out here and start doing this goofy shit behind a little bread, and that start fucking the game up.
Yeah. And it's all about showing some self-respect. You know what I'm saying? So when you hit a yard, you know what I'm saying? if you hit the yard and you just minding your own, and the homies push up on you, because they know who you are and shit like that, you ain't about to just get to acting up and cutting loose. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already homies on the yard that got that done laid the foundation of hey, this is how we do things. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like they telling you what to do, but at the same time, it kind of like it is, because this is where they got to live. Some of them got to live there forever. You
Well,
know what I'm
Messi, y'all
saying?
already
on the
know
real.
the Damus was always outnumbered, especially in the California prison. They gotta deal with the Crips, the Mexicans, the white boys, all that shit, man. Y'all always was cool. And then if man, that nigga go there right now, he'll get his head twisted in, man. Cause like you said, they already laid the foundation of how they react, how they do shit up in there. He going there and fuck it up. It's over with for that
Yeah,
nigga.
yeah,
Hey, that's what I was trying to tell y'all, man. He came up out here, man, and he running penitentiary game on y'all. All it is just like bluff, man. It's bluff. Who gonna
yeah.
It's
fold
fast
first?
talking, fast talking.
But if you let him
Who
tell it,
gonna
he done.
fold first?
Hey, babe, but if you let him tell it, he done buried the last five homies in the hood, and the essays done killed his last three little partners. So he act like he very active in the hood.
Yeah, but
Before,
that's
look,
I'm
before his destruction is
I'm
always a warning.
I'm gonna tell
No,
you
pride come before
Fact.
destruction.
I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, our hood been having some situations with the essays and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And but it's a lot of different sets out there too that's having hoods the same situations we have it. You know what I'm saying? He ain't pushed up on nobody. He ain't pushed up on nobody behind none of that, and he
Hey,
live out.
Messi, what's your
Yeah, because it's
relationship
not
with Big
feasible.
U? What's your relationship with Big U?
I don't know Big U. I don't know Big U. I ain't never been in none of those places with him or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I hear he a solid. I hear he a solid cat from his section. You know what I'm saying? So
So why did
Shoot,
Big
that
U
should be
stop
like a
fucking with him?
complicated that should be like a complicated relationship, but he look at Big U like his big homie. How's that?
well, because like I said, it's not too many motherfuckers from the set that want to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Because he run his mouth. You can't tell him nothing, and he think he bigger than the program. One thing
So it's safe to say that he know how to play his side. He know how to play.
well, him and Big U might have some type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Or they might be
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't,
yeah, Messi, yo,
I
Messi,
don't
For
think
listen,
they
real, it's
do
a
no
real
more.
yo,
relationship.
I
nah,
don't think
listen,
they do
listen,
no
Big
more.
U, listen, Big U is married to Wack's sister, man.
When
Has he always
he
had
stopped
that?
following that nigga.
Has he
Big
always
U
had that
Yeah,
is
because
married.
that
connection?
shit
Listen,
ain't
listen, listen.
genuine.
Big U is married to Wack's sister, so like that's his brother-in-law.
well, let
Get the
me tell
cash.
you this. Let me tell you this. Growing
Make
up,
it make
and
sense
and,
to you.
and, and I'm just throwing it at the growing up. I didn't even know Wack had a sister unless she's a younger sister, because I know, like I said, me and his brother is the same age, and then the homie